Hello, Expedia Group. Some technical difficulties. Here we go. Welcome again, everyone. I'm Rachel Edwards, registered dietitian with LifeStart, and like I said, I was pretty new to cooking. It's not something that I grew up doing a whole lot. I got into nutrition for the science of it and the fascination with health. So without further ado, let's get into some fun recipes that you can fit into your schedule that are super healthy and delicious. All right, tuna cucumber bites. This is a great one, super easy. A lot of things that you probably already have in your pantry. It's just tuna, canned tuna, fresh cucumber, avocado, Dijon mustard, and hot sauce. So the avocado kind of acts as the mayo that you would normally put in tuna. And then of course you can replace it with mayo. Avocado is just a little bit healthier option. And I have it so you only make 2 servings of this because, as we all know, if avocado sits too long, it kind of turns brown and it's not as appetizing looking. Still perfectly healthy for you, but about 24 hours to 48 hours is about as long as that will last. But this is a great one. So we just mix up the tuna with mustard, avocado, hot sauce, top it on top of cucumbers. If you want something a little more calorie dense, you're kind of hungry, you can make this into a sandwich just by putting it on some bread. It's already, moist enough with the tuna mixture. So this is a great one. Lots of protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Love this one. Ricotta toast. Ricotta is kind of an interesting cheese. It's fairly high in protein, so it makes a really good breakfast or lunch. So I will just top this, just the ricotta that you'll buy in the store, top it on some whole grain toast and drizzle with a little bit of honey and slivered almonds. There's tons of different toppings that you can do with this as well, because ricotta is just kind of a nice savory baseline food. You can do pistachios, berries, tomatoes, cinnamon, some different ones here, bee pollen or hemp hearts. Maybe not all together, but all of that goes really good on top of this toast. White bean, spinach, and tomato salad. This is a great heart healthy recipe. It's really high in potassium because all 3 of these things are actually very high in potassium. White beans, spinach, tomatoes. And it's another really quick one, 10 minutes or less. We just start with the olive oil, saute the garlic and the shallots for just a couple minutes there. You add in your white beans, your tomato, your juice, and you stir in the spinach just until it's wilted. It says about 5 minutes on there, but actually, in my experience, it takes less time. Remove it from heat, a little salt and pepper, and it's delicious. And this is definitely one you can make in a pretty big quantity and eat throughout the week in your leftover containers. Fairly high in protein for a vegetarian meal here. Very veggie friendly. It's dairy free, and I believe this is gluten free as well. Taco salad. So we're gonna do a demo of this one later today because I'm hungry and I'm gonna show you how I make my taco salad. But what we have here is spinach base, and I just add black beans, a Mexican cheese blend, quarter of an avocado, some salsa as the dressing, and then some crushed tortilla chips on top to make it a little more calorie dense, add some fiber and some carbs. And it's super easy to put together, literally no cooking involved. And you have a pretty nice balance here of carbs, proteins, fats, some fiber, and veggies. This is a great one. Some optional add-ons here. Taco salad, you can put so many things in there. It sometimes just becomes I'm cleaning out my fridge meal. You can do corn, sour cream, pre-prep your chicken ahead of time, refried beans. Quesadillas. There's all kinds of different quesadillas that are really super quick and easy to make. The one that I have here is a barbecue chicken quesadilla. And I'll be honest, if you don't pre-cook your chicken, it definitely takes a little bit longer than 10 minutes. But what I really take away from, making things quick and easy on myself is making sure I plan ahead and prep my protein and do veggie chopping at the start of the week. So I will make, if I know I'm having a lot of chicken that week or fish or whatever it is, I will make a decent batch of that either in my crock pot or pan fried, and then I'll just have that to put in different things throughout the week. And veggie chopping can also be done ahead of time. You can freeze a lot of your veggies. And so that's kind of my Sunday prep is I'll make some protein, chop some vegetables, call myself ready for the week. But with this one, after you have some cooked chicken, you pretty much just lay it in your tortilla along with your cheese and all of your veggies. And then you let that simmer in the pan for a couple minutes. And then we're just gonna fold it in half, let it brown on either side, and you are done. Super quick and simple, 400 calories, lots of protein. And then we're getting lots of fiber from those veggies as well. You'll notice in all of these recipes, I like to sneak veggies in there, right? Notice there's some wilted spinach in here. We've got some onions, some cilantro. Veggies can go good in so many different dishes, but we just kind of forget about them because we don't think that they're really palatable. But especially with onions and cilantro, those flavors will really just make your quesadilla delicious. Something else I'll do with this one, if you don't have pre-prepped protein, I will just open a can of refried beans or black beans, add that with some spinach or yes, some spinach and cheese, and then maybe a little salsa on top, and you have a really quick quesadilla if you didn't prep that week. Mediterranean bowl, a lot of my clients rave about this one. This one is really good. So one thing I didn't mention about our pre-prep your protein, chop your vegetables at the beginning of the week. And then if you're making any kind of rice, you'll want to cook that ahead of time. Quinoa is nice because it cooks much quicker than rice. It only takes about 20 minutes to cook dried quinoa versus sometimes brown rice can take upwards of 40, right? So quinoa is a pretty good substitution for carbs if you haven't pre-prepped ahead of time, right? And so otherwise, this is another one where we just kind of chop, we mix our oil and our vinegar together. And it says shake it in a jar, but honestly, I'll just pour it over top of my veggies and stir it all together if I don't want to go through the shaking process. And then you have your meal. No, not a lot of cooking required here, really just the quinoa if you haven't prepped it ahead of time. Lots of different ways to substitute with this one. This is another one with lots of good, more basic ingredients. So you can use tzatziki, which is a yogurt-based sauce instead of hummus. You can top with crumbled feta cheese, cooked chicken if you want to add a little bit more protein to this. And a little bit of lemon is always a good idea in your Mediterranean dishes. Just kind of adds that zing. Smoked salmon crackers. This is, I will be honest, I have never smoked salmon in my life. I do not have a smoker, but lots of different stores have prepackaged and cooked smoked salmon. This is a little bit more costly one. You might replace with tuna if smoked salmon is not your thing. But it's another really easy one that you can have in your pantry and just bring out when you need a quick meal that you haven't, done a lot of prep work for. So a little bit of cream cheese on the crackers, some smoked salmon, maybe a little arugula, remember, sneaky vegetables, and call it a day. I use cream cheese because cream cheese is just something that I happen to love. But cashew cream cheese, I've heard, is actually really delicious as well. Cashews make a really great dairy alternative in a lot of ways. And if you want something a little less saturated fat, a little low calorie, you can do yogurt as well. Some people swear by that, especially a little yogurt with some fresh dill in it is really delicious. I just happen to love cream cheese, so I use cream cheese for this. And remember, you don't have to have 100% healthy ingredients in all of your recipes, right? Health is about finding that balance and allowing yourself splurges on things that you really truly love. All right, without any more lectures on that, high in protein, getting a little bit of fiber just from our whole grain crackers and our arugula. That's the importance of sneaky vegetables, right? Got to get that fiber in there. And some healthy fats here too. And who says eggs are just for breakfast? I think a scrambled egg bowl makes a fantastic lunch, and it's pretty quick and easy to put together. Just start with a little bit of spinach and tomatoes, saute those up, and then we'll add our eggs. It says to crack your eggs in a bowl and kind of mix them with salt and pepper, but this is another one that if you're in a rush, you can just crack those eggs, add them to the pan, and then we'll saute that all up together in a scramble. Add a little feta cheese towards the end for about a minute to let that melt in. Add a little quinoa on the side to make it a more complete meal, a little bit more dense, and you are done. Instead of quinoa, you can also serve this one over toast. Over roasted potatoes is also really delicious. And then if you want to add a little bit of spice, sometimes this one can be a little bland. A little hot sauce or crushed red pepper is a great addition as well. Spinach, walnut, strawberry salad. I do a lot of salads for lunch. As I was making this presentation, I realized, because I don't tend to eat a lot of vegetables for breakfast. And if I save them all for dinner, then I don't feel like I can have all of those other things that are as satisfying, right? So I have a lot of salads in here, but I promise you they are all delicious. This one we have spinach, strawberries, walnuts, a little balsamic vinegar, and the feta cheese. That's pretty much our sauce, right? So if you want to do dairy-free, no feta cheese, you might add a little bit of olive oil in its place. But the mixture of these two things, as you're mixing up your salad, makes for that savory and bitey dressing that makes such a good dressing. A little salt and pepper and you're done. You just mix everything together and there you have it. Decent amount of protein. Plenty of ways to get protein without needing meat products. All right, if you happen to be vegetarian. All right, so some other lunch ideas. Really, I keep it simple for lunch because often, we're working, we don't have a lot of prep time. There's some classics here that are great as well. Peanut butter banana toast with honey. French toast, that's a little bit more time consuming, but kind of in the same timeline as the scramble. It'll be about 10 minutes. Deli sandwich, trying to find high quality deli meats. So in general, deli meats that are a little softer and more flimsy tend to be a little more processed and a little higher in saturated fat versus ones that look a little bit more meaty, a little less flexible, more cut, tend to be a little higher in protein. Not to be biased towards Costco, but Costco comes to mind. For comparison, their sandwiches tend to have a little bit more of that high quality meat for that visual comparison. And that is pretty much it. So if you're new to cooking, keep it simple. All these recipes are often just kind of throwing things together, maybe a little bit of heating in the pan here and there. Avocado and nut butters are magic. They make great replacements for things like mayonnaise and more, high saturated fat products. Sneaking vegetables into your dishes. Pretty much all of these recipes have some vegetables snuck in there. And it not only adds to the flavor of it, but it adds to the nutrition. It'll help with your, energy stability throughout the day, getting all that fiber. Sneak vegetables in where you can. And then pre-prep your protein and vegetables, like I said at the beginning of the week, and brown rice if you're doing something that takes a little bit longer like that as well. And it'll just make your week so much easier. You won't feel overwhelmed by cooking because you'll have all these things just ready to throw into a dish. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna head into my kitchen here and I'm gonna make the taco salad real quick. Can you still hear me? Maybe. I will try and speak up, so hopefully you can. So for my taco salad here, I have all the ingredients that I had in the recipe. I just have spinach. I'm going to use some salsa for my dressing, some Mexican blend cheese. I have avocado and some canned black beans, and we're just going to throw it together in a bowl here. I'm gonna follow COVID instructions and wash my hands real quick. Counting to 20. Saying happy birthday, whatever works. All right. I like to tear up my spinach a little bit here. Have you ever found that you're eating a salad and you just kind of start shoving whole leaves in your mouth because they're really big? It's a little awkward. Not that it matters if you're working from home, but I like to tear it up, personal preference. And I'm keeping an eye on the chat here too. If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw those up. One thing is spinach, some of them get slimy. You don't want those. All right. Depending on how small you tear your spinach, it goes pretty quick here. I'm a pretty big fan of spinach. It's one of my favorite sneaky vegetables because it's really mild. You can hide it in smoothies really well, in scrambles, in pastas, and of course in salad. I put the little paper towel on top to kind of soak up the moisture. It lets the spinach last a little bit longer in the fridge. All right, I probably got 2.5 cups of spinach here. I'm gonna go ahead and add my black beans. If you want a little bit less sodium option, you might not go for canned black beans, or be sure you find a low sodium black bean, but in general, canned options are going to be a little higher in salt. Why is salt concerning? It's not always, but sometimes high salt diets can increase our risk for cardiovascular disease and high blood pressure. So if you want that lower salt option, maybe curing black beans. But we're talking about low prep here, right? So canned it is. All right. Let's throw a little black beans on top. There's peppers in these? Oh my goodness. They have green peppers in these. All the better. I did not realize that when I was buying these, but that actually sounds pretty good on a taco salad. All right. Surprise. Learn something new every day. And then I drizzle a little cheese on top. You can absolutely measure this out like I have in the recipe. After you've done it enough times, and just throw it together. Which is another good incentive to take this time to learn some cooking techniques. Because once you do go back to work, you're going to have all these skills that makes things so much easier if you're not already back to work. All right, have a little salsa on top there. What did I forget? Ooh, avocado. Super good with a little avocado. Have my avocado here. Start by cutting it in half. And kind of twist this open here. Ooh, this one is not very ripe. Make sure your avocado is ripe or this will be a struggle. Oh man, that's not a part of the plan. I did not take this out of the fridge last night. To ripen up your avocado, fun fact, you can put it in a paper bag, leave it on the counter overnight. Just something I should have done last night in preparation for this taco salad. This is not coming loose, but I'm gonna mess with that later. This is also good without avocado. So, final product here. Taco salad. We are done. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected.